Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another one of my videos. Thank you for clicking on this video today. I appreciate all the love and support that we've been getting on this channel. And I want to give a huge shout out to you all who are watching this video right now. Because in my last video about the AmeriCup, I told you guys that I wanted to reach 80 subscribers by the end of the month. We have smashed that goal. So now, with that being said, I have to boost it up. It's only right. I want you guys to get me to 100 subscribers. Please like, please comment, please share this video. Yeah, Team USA won gold, so we're going to jump right into the video, and we're going to get started. Let's go. So if you're not already aware, Team USA is playing in the America Cup, which is like a FIBA-style exhibition tournament. They advanced to the elimination games, and they played Team Dominican Republic in the first game. The U.S. starters were Madison Booker, Joyce Edwards, Michaela Blakes, Olivia Miles, and Grace Van Sloten. Some things I noticed early on in the game is that Team USA was struggling on offense for the first time in all of the games that they played. And it wasn't like they were struggling on offense, meaning they were missing shots and stuff like that. They were mostly struggling with the half-court offense, so the sets that they were trying to get into weren't really working. They were kind of like turning the ball over a little bit. Some missed layups as well. So that's what I mean by they were struggling on offense. What helped really pick up the slack, though, was the fact that they were turning defense into offense. And I said this in my last video. Kara Lawson is one of the smartest and most defensive IQ coaches in women's college basketball. So her leading this team is all defensive oriented. If you go back to my last video, that's like the key thing that I mentioned was about them being a defensive pest, having active hands, being in passing lanes. All of those things are things that I mentioned in my last video. And I'm going to mention that a lot in this video because that ultimately will help them get gold. Excuse me. Next was Reagan Beers. She had back-to-back buckets that kind of put the offense back on pace. And then another player was Kennedy Smith. She was causing hell on the defensive end. It was like 2 possessions of her just having great defense that led to buckets. She has also been one of those key defensive pieces for this team. And then in the second half, or going into halftime, the score was 55-21. The Dominican Republic team was probably the worst team they played so far, so it wasn't really much to touch on. But Team USA pretty much controlled the momentum throughout the entire half. They continued to score off turnovers. They had 6+ turnovers in the first half. Hannah Hidalgo absolutely snapped this game. She was looking like her Notre Dame self. Cause don't get me wrong, Hannah has played absolutely well these last 3 games against DR, Canada, and Brazil. But in the first couple games, Hannah did not have the best start. She wasn't as fluent as she usually is when she was at Notre Dame, and I think that was just part of the FIBA-style basketball being very physical and her being like a smaller guard. But in this game, she was killing. She had 17 points, 9 assists, 4 boards. She was talking shit. Like, she was like rah-rahing and hitting tough buckets. It was fun to see. And then someone who we didn't get to see play as much, Flau'jae Johnson, had her best game. She had 22 points coming off the bench. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's been talks about Flau'jae. She posted an Instagram post today or yesterday mentioning she couldn't wait for December 4th against her matchup against Duke, who's coached by Coach Lawson. I guess Flau'jae is insinuating that she probably should have got more playing time because she's one of the key players who hasn't really played as much throughout this FIBA tournament. But yeah, that's all I have for the DR game, and Team USA went off to win. And then next we have Canada. The Canada game was more slow-paced game. It wasn't a lot of up and down. But I like the adjustments Coach Lawson made by starting Reagan Beers. Um, this is kind of an off-topic thing, but I really like Beers as a player. I think she has a pro type of play and a pro type of body. She does probably have to get a little bit stronger and have a little bit better feet, but trust me, she'll be in the W one of these days. She's a really good player in general. I will say she did have some moments in the first half where she was tired and like Team USA would push the pace, trying to get back into that fast flowing, pace that they were running, and she would kind of be out of the frame or, might have just had a tough battle down low in the post and didn't get back when they were running. So that's something she kind of struggled with. But she was very physical down low. She fought for offensive rebounds. She scrapped and, like she's down there banging with pros. So I got to give her the benefit of the doubt. Some of my first half notes was, like I mentioned, this was a scrappy game. The first quarter, the score was only 14-12. So that told you a lot about what the game was and how the game was going. And that was in Canada's favor. They were up 14-12. And then once again in this game, Kennedy Smith, her defense allowed USA to get comfortable and settle into their offense. She probably had about back-to-back steals or, jumping on a defender while there's a loose ball and, hands in the passing lanes, disrupting the passing lanes and things like that. And then again, Hannah Hadoga led the charge with her finishing ability, being very scrappy, going to the rack, being physical, and just being the pest. Not only the defensive end, but on the offensive end, like getting down in there low, trying to offensive rebound. And yeah, this game was super close. Ending the first half, it was tied at the half. And then in the second half, again, like I mentioned, Hannah Hadogo, Team Canada had no answer for her. She absolutely got in her bag. She willed Team USA, giving them a 3-point lead going into the fourth quarter. And then in this game, she finished with 19 points. She was 8 for 18 from the field. And this ultimately led to Team USA going to the championship game, and they have an opportunity to win gold. So let's jump into the championship game because this was one of my favorite games to watch. In the championship game, you had the starters be Olivia Miles, Michaela Blakes, Joyce Edwards, Madison Booker, and Reagan Beers. So this game started off with a lot of back and forth buckets. I'm talking USA get a bucket, Brazil get a bucket, USA get a bucket, Brazil get a bucket. Team USA was showing that they can keep up with Brazil in the big lineup that they had because, Brazil had the, I don't know her name, I'm not very familiar with WNBA hoops, but they had the girl who plays on Indiana Fever, and then they had Camila Cardoso. So those are two big people in the front court, and they were able to hang with them in the paint. Like I mentioned earlier, Beers being a really good big, who's still a college player, but keeping up with these two WNBA bigs was pretty impressive. Halfway through the second quarter, Team USA started to struggle to defend the paint, though. They were getting bullied, but they tried their best. I'm trying to tell you, when you have two WNBA bigs who are 6'4 plus, it's not. You can only try your best. I mean, they started to get. They didn't struggle to the point where it was like they were getting killed. They were just Brazil were just making some tough shots down in the post. And then in that first half, Michaela Blakes pretty much, she stepped up defensively. She had some steals. She was guarding 94 feet. She had a couple steals that turned into layups. She hit some big threes in the first half. And then at halftime, Team USA was up 47-45. Going into the second half, number 12 on Brazil. She's a WNBA player. Somebody in the comments is going to know who I'm talking about. I don't know her name, but I'm just going to call her Didi because those are her first two letters of her first and last name. She absolutely was giving Team USA to work. Joyce Edwards was getting to work. Hannah Stokes was getting to work. Beers was getting to work. Vlan Sloden was getting to work. Whoever was down there was getting to work. They just had no answer for her. It was a back and forth in the second half as well. Hannah Hadoga came in and really gave Team USA a spark in the third quarter. And this was the spark they really needed. She hit a tough shot coming down the lane. I think it was like the free throw line. She hit a tough shot. Madison Booker had hit a couple tough threes, or one three to help like keep the lead within margin. The energy started to pick up in the fourth quarter. You can tell as well. They were causing Brazil to get some bad looks. They were trying to then at this point Brazil was trying to force those tough lay-ins in the paint, and it just wasn't working. And then the game breaker, the Team USA savior, the MVP of the gold championship game was Michaela Blake. She knocked down some triples to get that separation for Team USA that they really, really needed. And from that point on, going the last couple minutes into the fourth, the game was pretty much over after Michaela Blake's really turned it up a notch. And, excuse me, that ultimately led to Team USA winning. They won 92-84. And it was just really, really awesome to see these young ladies go out there and put on for Team USA as just college kids and beat up on some pros and learn a lot. And I figured that this is going to take a lot of them to a whole nother level this season. So players like Michaela Blake's, when she goes to Vanderbilt, she's going to be put on the spot. She's going to be an awesome player to watch. Hannah Stokes impressed me a lot. I love the way that she played as a big. I don't know who's on Iowa as their guards, who's going to give her the ball, but she impressed me a lot. I'm trying to think of players that people might not really know as much. Kennedy Smith, she's known, but Kennedy Smith will be in a bigger role this year without Juju. So the way Kennedy Smith played defensively, she's going to get a lot more shot opportunities than she did with Team USA on USC because of there's no Juju. So she can have a bigger role and bigger year this year. It's going to be tough to see. I mean, I can't really wait for the season. Then you had Flage kind of talking trash to her own head coach in an Instagram post. We'll see what happens when Duke plays LSU. So it's going to be a lot of really good hoops. I think we got a really good glimpse of it just by watching these ladies play. And yeah, they went ahead and took gold home. And I feel like I just won gold because we hit our subscriber goal. So I just want to thank all you guys. If you made it this far in this video, please like, please comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.